Hello and welcome to Bread Theory. Tonight I have with me my lovely wife Amanda. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. Are you ready to get into the Spotify controversy
Very
and the
much.
quartering's take on it? That's going to be our subject for tonight. Just keeping things light for once, not doing as heavy political stuff as usual. Timbers says hello.
Hi.
So anyway, if you haven't been keeping up with all the minutia of the news lately, recently Neil Young, I think it was like Monday, decided to
Mhm.
pull out his catalog from Spotify,
So did Joni Mitchell.
and now Joni Mitchell has jumped on that bandwagon, and a few other artists have hinted that they're going to do the same. The reason being that Spotify is the only one that carries um, the Joe Rogan experience, and as we will see, uh, and as Jeremy will somehow miss, the reason that Neil Young is doing that is because he believes that Joe Rogan is spreading tons of medical misinformation. And being the number one podcast on Spotify that goes out to millions of people a day, platforming, and it's not really as much about Joe Rogan himself, but more so the people that he platforms, the quack doctors who have various unproven theories of how to treat COVID and that sort of thing. Oh, Foo Fighters are planning to pull out too. Now that would be really big. Uh, but anyway, Jeremy doesn't seem to think too much of this. He thinks it's another one of the, it's cancel culture. It's the go woke, go broke sort of thing. All his catchphrases that he likes to throw around. Now, if you're not familiar with Jeremy of the Quartering, well, count yourself lucky. He is a right wing guy who likes to complain usually about, women in movies and video games and minorities and all this stuff that he's basically of the political opinion that you can either be a man or you can be political. You can either be straight or political, white or political, that sort of thing. You get the idea.
Hmm.
So that's his big shtick, and that tends to be the only things that when he talks about them actually get him sizable views. His channel's up over 1 million now, um, but he's lucky to break 100,000 views, unless he's talking about things like, oh, there was a woman in a Marvel movie and she said a thing. So
Hmm.
anyway, that aside, let's get into the video.
Yeah. It was really nice of me to have Zach on, huh?
Yeah,
Miss
yeah,
Different.
that's very generous of you. Thank you
I
for
know.
allowing me in.
What can I say? Merry Christmas, everyone. It's a little late.
All right, so let's pull up the video now, and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. And we'll definitely be pausing this quite a bit to correct the record, because let's just say Jeremy's playing a little bit fast and loose with the facts of the case. So there's our goodest boy, Jeremy. He likes to sit really close to the camera, so basically his face is an entire third of what's visible. Yeah, yeah. I've started working on a character that I'm going to call the Halfening. Um, and I'm trying to pick up on his mannerisms. So one of those is going to be really a painfully close zoom in. So like every time I nudge my head down or whatever, I go out of frame. I need to work better on coordinating my hat and shirt, color coordination patterning.
I
Um,
mean, if you cared, you'd try harder.
but yeah, well, that's I suppose that's true. If I really did care, I would try harder. Um, but I figure, I already got the Midwest accent, being a Minnesotan. Jeremy lives out in Wisconsin.
Unfortunately, we don't have a basement for him to pee in
No,
at the
it'll just
moment.
I'll just have to. It'll be part of
A
the theater
cup.
of it, right?
Maybe a cup or a jar.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really gonna no.
Leave in the windowsill. Really.
Anyway,
I mean, if you're going to do this, I think you need to commit all the way.
let's get into the video. So this is Jeremy of the Quartering with his big brain take. Amanda is pretty based. I'll have to admit. That was the first thing that attracted me to her. I was like, this girl looks based, and
Obviously.
it turns out I was right. So
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I hope
Jeremy.
you're having a wonderful day. Twitter is really thinking they're doing something. They're really sticking it to Spotify and then giving their money to Apple, only to find out that Apple still hosts the Steve Bannon podcast and immediately regretting it.
Because that has anything to do with anything. You can't take a stand unless you take a stand against all things, right? You can't. I mean, is Steve Bannon really even relevant all that much anymore? I know he's still like behind the scenes, and I don't even know if he's in this country. But do you know who Steve Bannon is? Are you familiar?
Yeah, I am. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, every time I hear that name, I think of Bruce Bannon.
It was Bruce Banner. but
Banner,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
My mind goes there, and I know it shouldn't, because Hulk's awesome and Steve Bannon
It
sucks.
definitely sucks. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, right. Really. Since Trump kicked him to the curb, he's basically been down and out in terms of the right wing griftosphere.
Also, let's just add something here, since he's not realizing that there's only, like, what, 6 corporations that control everything in the world? So,
Well,
like,
exactly.
odds are you're going to get boned somewhere.
Exactly.
You just have to decide who you want to take it from.
Right. You know, it's like I stream to what now? Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Those are all huge corporations. I mean, I could do like Jeremy here. I could stream to Minds and Parler and Rumble and all those other garbage right wing sites that no one looks at. But then no one looks at it. You're out of the conversation at that point. So, uh huh. So anyway, let's continue on though, because it only gets better from here.
But that's neither here nor there. They're also ignoring the overall market shift in over the last 3 months, in particular in tech stocks. We saw how Netflix has been collapsing, a market recorrection.
I just want to mention he's really slurring his words a lot more than usually. I wonder if maybe his wife has gone out for pizza again and he's just tying one on in the basement.
She always goes and gets pizza without me, and
I know.
it makes me really
It
sad.
makes him
I
a real
just
sad
wish
boy.
that maybe sometimes when she would go get pizza, that she could bring me some pizza back. If she really cared about me, she would bring a pizza back.
Anyway, whatever the reason for it, it seems like he believes this can give him some better takes.
Because a lot of people signed up for them at the beginning of the lockdowns, and then people
Yeah,
started
that's
unsubbing.
his thing. He's
People
always
started
wasted.
not caring about it anymore, and the programming leveled off. And
So John, you may not be familiar with the lore of the quartering. One of his most memorable videos was the time that he got super wasted because his wife had gone out to get pizza with another guy and didn't invite him along.
With actual Jake.
Yeah, yeah, right. That's the unofficial lore. No, I'm just kidding. And he got super upset about it and just got completely shit-faced the rest of the night and ended up peeing in his basement. That's how that ended. That is only one of two
That's the real
major...
Pizzagate, guys.
Yeah,
Somebody
that's the
needs
real
to fill
Pizzagate.
QAnon on this business.
Yeah, you see, this actually took place in a real basement,
See?
unlike Pizzagate, where there was actually no basement involved.
No, but this is Pizzagate now. Now
So-
they know.
But anyway, did you know? You might not know this either. That's only one of two pissing himself stories that he has, and the other one was actually a shitting himself story, which he told where
I should.
he basically shat himself in the middle of a Walmart and
Oh yeah, I remember.
yeah,
that.
you
We
did that.
watched
Okay, so yeah, he's basically the male version of
a toddler.
well, of a toddler. That
Adult.
works. I was thinking of that Bennett. I can't think of her first name.
Caitlin Bennett.
Caitlin Bennett. Yeah, she's poop girl. He's poop boy. You know, so
If only they had
maybe there's
gotten
something
married.
there.
Like, also, why would you out yourself if you did that? Like, I mean, if it's like a close personal friend. Oh.
There's a Songify video of Pizza Time. Now maybe we'll look that up as a treat later on. We'll have to see. Anyway, Jeremy in rare form, getting juiced up as he gives his hot takes.
investors bailed. Perhaps the same thing is happening for Spotify after they saw a massive forward leap in terms of signups when Joe Rogan moved over, and they really haven't made a splash ever since. We saw
You see, no, here he actually has half of a point, because it's true that over, I think it was like the past 6 months, Spotify stock has gone down. as people have moved away from the service for whatever reason. But this was a pretty major dip, and it all happened within the last week. We'll look closer at it a little bit later on here, but yeah, almost a point for Jeremy there.
All sorts of Twitter communists pointing to a 3%. There was one dude that literally tweeted out, Spotify stock is plummeting. It's down 3%. And then I retweeted them saying 3% isn't a plummet, and they immediately deleted it. And
Wow, owned. A guy said a thing on Twitter, but then he stopped saying it. That's left wing destroyed in my opinion there.
oh, by the way, as of right now, the Spotify stock is up for the day, not down. This and all the more hilarity around these clueless fools after a quick word from this video sponsor.
Yep, and
Huge shout out to this
we are
video
just going
sponsor,
to
Meta PCs.
PCs. Now I know you're not going to run out and quick
I didn't mean
buy
to
a
do
brand new
that.
computer just because I ran this ad, but what I
We're
would
gonna
hope is
skip
that you'll
forward through this,
configure it.
blah, blah,
and
blah.
received a re-enter the
No
code.
Oh,
extra.
that wasn't too
The
matchy.
quarter
That
percent,
don't match.
its biggest
Oh, so
drop
yeah,
for
you're
the
right.
PCs.
Oh.
I know I'll be getting myself
I'm
a
gonna
brand
have
new one
to
before the.
No,
look
as
even
of
closer.
right now, the Spotify stock
Okay,
is
so this is where
up
it starts getting pretty disingenuous.
0.39%. Its biggest drop for the day was down to $165.50. It's currently at $171. So I could probably use their logic and say Spotify stock skyrockets.
So there's a big reason why he's using the 1 day instead of the 5 day, which is about 5 days ago that Neil Young tweeted out his response, or tweeted out his intentions there. So let's just take a look. Let's take a look real quick at the 5 day. So there's 1 day. Let's switch it to 5 days. Oh, look at that. That doesn't look like line goes up, does it?
That looks like the line's going
That looks like
down.
the line's going down. So since about the time that Neil Young made his announcement, the stock has gone down considerably. So there's that. So he's starting out intentionally misleading you by showing you the 1 day, which sure it recovered on a 1 day average, but overall it's had an impact. And in fact, the more people that jump onto this bandwagon, the more pressure it's going to put on Spotify. So we'll go back to the video, and then we'll take a look at some more in-depth analysis that he kind of misses. Yeah, 1 second. I'll get to the question. Just share that again. So is he the fat bearded version of that bald guy now? Fat bearded version of the bald. I don't know what bald guy you're talking about.
Jeff Bezos.
Sure.
Just kidding.
Are you talking about, maybe you're talking about Lord of Patriarchy? That's kind of the... But he had a beard though too, so maybe not him.
I want to see him in public.
The bald guy. I don't know.
That's my life goal. I want to see the Lord of Patriarchy in person. In
You know
the
what?
flesh.
And the thing is, he actually lives in the same city that we do. I'm pretty sure. Hey Sam, how you doing tonight? We are just ripping into Jeremy, who's being quite disingenuous with his analysis on the Spotify controversy. But anyway, yeah. So Lord of Patriarchy, he's a pretty unknown channel. I don't think he has more than 1,000 subscribers. It's just that we know him through actual Jake's channel. But yeah, I believe he lives in St. Paul as well. So I'm always afraid that I'm going to run into him at the grocery store. And not that I would really worry about having an argument with him or anything. I'd be worried that I couldn't help myself and I'd do his voice at him. And then it would just be this confused, sad guy slinking off to buy his groceries.
You don't have a receding hairline and you don't have a cart full of
We don't have to.
gelatinous
We don't have to
blobs.
body shame the guy to make fun of Lord of Patriarchy, or Jeremy for that matter. There's plenty of material.
Oh,
that
sorry.
we can
Fine. Let's
dig
talk
into.
about Lord of Patriarchy being able to tell time, but also the gelatinous cart of food.
Yeah, well, he got so mad at his clocks that were wrong that he eventually just tore them all down. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Let's get back into Jeremy and his fresh hot takes.
Delete Spotify users cancel music service after Rogan Young incident. Now, I think it's important to make a distinction here. Yes, free users who hear ads are a valuable asset, but they probably pale in comparison to those users that pay for premium, that provide Spotify with a monthly
Probably.
guaranteed income, rather than
Good
premium
citation
or
there.
freemium users who log in occasionally, maybe when they're driving here and there. A day after the music streaming
This is
service
all just wild
giant
speculation.
Spotify removed Neil Young's catalog. By the way, Neil Young removed his catalog, not Spotify, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, he did it
Many
out of
users
protest.
say they're now leaving.
That was the whole idea.
Right.
Why would Spotify remove it? That only cost them money and subscribers. Yeah. What else were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that. Like Neil
Oh, yeah.
Young pulled
Neil
the
Young
catalog.
pulled it.
That
It was not
his
Spotify's
choice. It was him taking a stand against the BS that is platforms for lies. Now, if some of these younger, hipper audiences or artists would do that same thing by pulling their stuff.
Well, I think Timmers
Like Billie
earlier was
Eilish
saying
or-
that Foo Fighters were going to, and
Yeah, I
of
saw
course
that.
they're not
But,
also
like-
the most modern band, but definitely.
Or whatever, NBA Youngboy or
Yeah,
whatever
sure.
that cool stuff is.
Well, if like or like Lil Nas X, if he were to pull his stuff off,
Mm-hmm.
that would make a bigger deal. And I can only see this thing growing because, and I don't know. We'll move on a little bit more in the video, but I'm pretty sure he never actually reads this whole article because the article goes into Neil Young's reasons why he did that, and Jeremy just kind of conveniently overlooks that. But we'll see.
Leaving with the 76-year-old rocker. Delete Spotify trended on Twitter in response to the removal, which happened after Young gave the company the ultimatum, and then Spotify said, "See you later, boomer." 270 healthcare professionals also signed a letter in which hardly any of them were actual medical doctors. By the way,
wait.
you know how
So yeah, he does. He skips right over that part. Let's bring up the letter, that article that he's citing from, which is not even the best article that I found on the matter. But we'll bring up that article right now. Let's see. Here it is. So here's the exact same article. So the part that he conveniently glossed over was the entire part of his reasoning behind this. So let's add the context. Young said Spotify listeners are being misinformed and endangered, and that artists are supporting Spotify by hosting their music there. I realized I could not continue to support Spotify's life-threatening misinformation to the music-loving public. 270 healthcare professionals also recently sent an open letter to Spotify urging the company to address misinformation on Rogan's show. And so even before that part, the beginning of the article here, it goes into Neil Young's, it goes further into Neil Young's reasons for this. Spotify has recently become a very damaging force via its public misinformation and lies about COVID, Young wrote in a letter to his website on Wednesday. Most of the listeners hearing the unfactual, misleading, and false COVID information on Spotify are 24-year-old, impressionable, and easy to swing to the wrong side of the truth. Okay, somehow that was glossed over, and then Jeremy says, without basis again, that an open letter to Spotify from all these healthcare professionals saying that misinformation is coming from Rogan's show. So this is just another tactic to divert attention away from what the actual issue is, because what Jeremy is never going to address in this whole thing is whether or not Neil Young's accusations are true, whether or not what Joe Rogan is doing constitutes a threat to public health and thereby people's lives in the case of a pandemic like COVID. He just wants to keep us talking about the various side controversies of it, trying to doubt the validity of so-called cancel campaigns, trying to doubt the validity of the healthcare profession, never actually saying whether or not the sort of people that Joe Rogan platforms are quacks that spread misinformation that get people killed, which demonstrably is true. Like a big reason that the whole ivermectin thing flared up was because of Joe Rogan. It had curative properties that it did not, that have still yet to be proven. And consequently, a lot of people went, and because it's not something that's available to most people, Joe Rogan just happens to be rich and have access to whatever doctor and medicine he feels like. Uh, the horse paste, yeah, right. So they went and got uh, uh, medication, ivermectin, that was meant for veterinary work, usually for treating horses, deworming horses. And they were taking unregulated doses of that because, of
Right.
course, you're not going to tell your vet,
He-
eat this, I'm going to ingest this stuff, because then they wouldn't sell it to you.
People and horses are also not the same size, and most medication is pulled by weight.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, not to
compounded
mention,
by weight.
I mean, there's all sorts of standards in human health that don't apply to animal health. In fact, I remember reading a story. It was a while ago, but I think it was during the big economic downturn when a lot of people were really in bad trouble, to the point where a lot of elderly people who were on a fixed income were resorting to eating animal food, like cat food, to subsist on. And so many of them were doing it that it became a health problem, because the regulation of meat that goes into cat food is not the same as the regulation of meat that goes into human food. They're different things meant for different animals. So people were getting sick from it.
Right.
Same sort of thing happened with the horse paste, basically.
Because our body would not process it the same way.
Yeah, weight and metabolic rate, all these, very good point, John. All these things are different. Horses can be 1,000-pound animals. They're going to metabolize things a lot faster than a human is. So if you're an unregulated dose based on some, form you found on 4chan or something like that, there's going to be a chance that you're going to end up in the hospital. And a lot of people ended up in the hospital. But even that pales in comparison to the amount of people that he has convinced personally to not get vaccinated. You hear this time and time again, that people listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. They decide that the quacks that he brings on have a point about not getting vaccinated, or that Joe himself has a point to not getting vaccinated, and they decide not to get vaccinated. And again, it would be one thing if it only affected those people, but it doesn't. And that's the big deal with COVID. It affects everybody. And if you choose to make a medical decision for yourself to not get vaccinated, you're not just making a decision for yourself, you're making a decision for everyone that you come into contact with. So unless you're staying at home and staying away from people, you bear a lot of responsibility if people get infected by you. It's just like smoking in public. Over half of states in the US now, which is abysmal that it's only half of states, but like 27 states in the US, you can't smoke inside of a bar or restaurant anywhere in the state. Doesn't matter what the local policies are. The reason being is that when you make a health decision yourself to smoke, you're not just affecting your own health. That secondhand smoke is affecting other people, right? So they've decided that the people that work in bars, that have to be exposed to smoke, should get a say in their health too. And so they've banned it. It's pretty simple. If you make a medical decision that affects other people, you have to balance the rights. The right or right. My right to not take medical precautions, or everyone else's right to be free from potentially life-threatening illness. It seems pretty clear to me. So Timmer says there was a water shortage in some rural town, and they had a stockpile of Mountain Dew. They started feeding it to the babies at an early age, and it caused toothache disease. Accurately called the Mountain Dew mouth. Wow, I haven't heard of that one. That's an interesting one too.
That's gross.
That's terrible. I mean, I wonder how much the caffeine at that young of an age affected them as well. There's not a lot of studies on how that affects children. But anyway, getting off topic again. Let's get back into Jeremy not reading most of the article that he cites. And there we go.
I was talking about the other day about my Gilded server, and people are still kind of like, what's Gilded? Blah, blah, blah. It's literally a more free speech friendly Discord. And
So here we go again. Diverting attention again. This becomes a free speech issue. Conservatives struggle time and time again. You see it. They struggle with the idea of balancing rights out, that something that they personally do can affect other people. If you're giving people information or misinformation that they then take and hurt themselves with, that's still your responsibility. You still have caused that. So where does the balance lie? It should be my freedom to speak has to be balanced with everyone's freedom to get credible information, especially when it comes to life-threatening disease. Wouldn't you agree? Okay.
Here my server is. There's 1,500 people in there right now. Chat's moving along. There's lots of stuff going on. You can see there's individual chat rooms and stuff like that. Rooms for suggestions. We have moderators and admins there. You can see all my
Moderators and admins?
current
That
discount
sounds like
codes
free
and all sorts of
speech
stuff like
deniers.
that. So if you're interested, the link is in my link tree in the description below. If you're looking for a place to talk to people, you know, that would be a good spot for it. Now, anyway, then we saw the...
And see, what do we see time and time again with these supposed free speech oases? 4chan, 8chan, which was also about twice as worse. Rumble, Parlor, all these various right-wing spots that are like free speech zones, all this stuff. Eventually, people do stuff that their speech or the things that they share damages other people, like directly, like they share kiddie porn, or they dox people, or they just use it to start selling drugs, which that part of it I don't really have as much of a problem with, but at some point they run into legal trouble because of all these things. And they end up having to do the same sort of policing of speech that every other site does, or they just get shut down, or they get dropped from the carrier, as in the case with Parler, that I think it was Apple that dropped them eventually. So this is the reason that free speech absolutism doesn't work, because people end up getting hurt by it. And then soon enough people get hurt by it that everyone sees that this was a dumb idea to begin with.
counter of
Oh, do you have something else?
No.
Oh, sorry.
that,
You
which
just
is how this
putting the
always
period
works.
on it.
Spotify users mock cancel Spotify movement caused by Joe Rogan drama.
So,
Commentator and comedian Joe Rogan hosts one of the most popular podcasts on the internet, and in the decade since it began,
oh, well, thank you, Sam, for your subscription there. 2 months in a row. You are my longest subscriber, I believe. Thanks so much. I do appreciate that. It's like people that drink pee. Yeah. There's people that have now been convinced through these sorts of misinformation pipelines that they should be drinking their own pee, and that's somehow a remedy for any disease. It's like when people were. Do you remember when people were injecting bleach into themselves? Because Trump suggested that might be a good thing. I think that was along about the time he was like, "Why don't we just shine UV lights inside people to kill disease? Just tan them from the inside, you know? It works."
It hurts. It really hurts.
Oh, so Natalie is saying ivermectin was addressed to Congress with a pro-ivermectin physicians brought to address Congress members by certain Republican senators, and YouTube video was labeled as anti-vax video, and actually it wasn't. Okay. There is corruption on both ends of vaccine debates. Yes, but we also have results to look at. And you don't have to trust anyone except for the statisticians. If you trust the statisticians and you see that of the cases right now, 95% of the people that die from COVID are unvaccinated, what more do you need to know about it, really?
Also, like, sit down and talk with your doctor. And if you don't like the answer your doctor gave you, talk to another doctor. It's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I had some major apprehensions. So, overshare moment. I've been gifted genetic blood clotting disorders. And I heard that COVID caused blood clots, and then I was also hearing that certain vaccines also cause blood clots. So
Sure.
for me,
Yeah.
There was apprehension and more research that needed to be done until I could finally settle on Pfizer being my safest choice and to
You know,
not touch the other two.
and to a certain extent, I can even understand at least the people that waited until I think it was the Pfizer one that was the first one to be FDA approved. Fine, fine. I mean, we are in the middle of an emergency situation, so that to me took precedent. But at least if you wait till then and then go ahead, fine. I guess I can't fault you that much.
But also, if your stupid ass has a tattoo,
Well,
Tattoo
yeah,
Ink is not FDA approved.
yeah. Oh, well, I mean, there's tons of like
So, like, I don't want to hear that FDA
half
argument.
half of like
No more.
the nootropics drugs and human growth hormone and all number of things that Joe Rogan pushes on his podcast and puts in his body are in no way FDA regulated, and he has to put all sorts of disclaimers around them because of that. So the idea that that was the sticking point for him is ridiculous.
Yikes. Brother's roommate got COVID a few days ago and had a brain aneurysm. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait a minute, did I get that wrong? Was that a gift sub? Maybe I misread that.
That's really scary, Timmers. I cannot even.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, let's move on with Jeremy's train of look the other way.
He has brought on a huge number of guests and garnered millions of views. Every episode, by the way. Although he originally posted to YouTube, the episodes are now exclusively available on Spotify after signing his $100 million deal. In recent months, Rogan has
Keep
come
that
under
number in
criticism
mind.
for spreading quote-unquote misinformation
100
on the
million.
podcast, and singer Neil Young was one to call it out. Of course, the platform we know chose Joe Rogan over Neil Young, who has also been accused of spreading.
See, again, that's only a half truth. They didn't choose one over the other. Neil Young, as Jeremy just spoke, I know he's probably a bit tipsy at this point, but he should remember the words he spoke not 5 minutes ago, where he said that Neil Young chose to withdraw his music from Spotify. We don't know what's happening between Spotify and Neil Young, whether there's any sort of negotiation going on. So this is just Jeremy pulling facts out of thin air, as though Neil Young deciding to leave is the same as Spotify choosing Joe Rogan over him. A bad way of framing at the very least.
Misinformation in the past as well, and I also believe took a loan from Donald Trump, but that's neither here nor there. This probably led to the hashtag cancel Spotify gaining traction online. Many of fans of Young plan to cancel their Spotify subscriptions and boycott the platform as a result of the controversy. However, many users have been mocking the trend, with plenty claiming that they are continuing to listen to their music through Spotify despite their drama.
And see again, this is all just at the best anecdotes here. A few users have decided to mock the drama and get subscriptions to Spotify. Is that going to make up for the amount that are leaving? Does he even know how many are leaving? No, none of these facts come up at all. This is just him choosing his part of the narrative that he likes and overemphasizing it.
Here's Luca with 10,000 likes. Me scrolling through
random
hashtag
Twitter.
bye-bye Spotify and hashtag cancel Spotify while listening to Spotify.
It's got 9,000 likes on
Here's
it.
Zan,
Wow.
18,000 likes.
Oh, 18,000.
Me reading tweets under hashtag
That's
cancel
nothing
Spotify
on
while
Twitter.
listening to Spotify.
Spotify
Then you have
system
others
has
are
recently
even-
crashed because of the number of people wanting to cancel their subscription. So I feel like that has to be at least
Oh, really?
a sizable amount.
That's something I had not found yet. So yeah, if that many people are leaving, it kind of sounds like it's making a difference. And I mean, monetarily, it's hard to argue that
Oh
it's
yeah, they
not
shut
making a
down their
difference.
live customer service support.
So
because of
Spotify is
complaints
running
and
scared at this point,
cancellation
but they've
requests.
chosen Joe Rogan and they're going to stick by their man.
Actively signing up for Spotify premium service, calling out cancel culture weirdos for contributing to the trend. Now look,
A guy. Whoa.
I in general, I think that people who, are against cancel culture, so to speak, and against kind of all this hoot nanny,
How
we're
old
off.
are you? 90? Hoot nanny?
Yeah.
All right, never mind. That
No,
was
no,
weird.
no, really. That's an old word. The hootenanny comes from like the early stages of the American folk era, when they would call it hootenanny, when they'd all get together with their guitars and banjos and whatnot
I bet he's got
and
a
sing along.
Confederate flag plastered on
Oh,
the
I'm sure
back
it's
of his
somewhere.
car.
It's probably just behind the camera,
Or
so he can
can't
just
see
stare
him.
at it whenever he gets
Lonely.
well, yeah, whenever his wife goes out for pizza.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
yeah. No, but I mean seriously, I think he's like our age. He's like maybe 40, 41. So
I'm not 40.
not yet.
Often quick
I'm
to
not 40 yet
support,
either.
like
You will
the service.
So will you.
or the person on the other side of it. Well, let's not forget, Spotify is a company run by leftist weirdos.
And that's another good point too, John. This whole idea of cancel culture, where you cancel your subscription to a service that you're paying money for, I
Because you're disappointed in that?
yeah, because
Because
for
the
whatever
service
reason,
isn't living up to what
for whatever
you're
reason,
paying for?
should you?
So what?
I mean, should you instead just have to keep on? Oh, I really don't like that Spotify is spreading so much misinformation, but I can't be a cancel culture guy, so I guess I just gotta keep on paying them money month after month. Like what? None of this makes any sense. And how is that even canceling? Like Spotify is not even a person. How can you have cancel culture apply to this at all? It's only supposed to apply to people, I thought.
If you forget about conservatism, Zach, have you forgotten that businesses are people? So you're hurting the person of Spotify. You're hurting them when you take your business away.
Yes, Natalie, that is that was a possible claim that did happen early on in the vaccination process. I think that was later disproven, though, that there was no extra risk of blood clots for people um, that got the vaccine. But
The Johnson and
what does
Johnson one
cause
was
blood
not,
clots for sure is people getting COVID. That happens quite a bit.
and I do it naturally, so I didn't. I mean, I've been vaccinated. I'm fully Pfizered, and will continue
Right.
with Pfizer because that's what
For
works
sure.
best for me.
But for people like you who are at additional risk, through absolutely no fault of your own, you didn't choose to be born with a genetic condition that gives you blood clots. No matter what, you're still at a greater risk because vaccines are not force fields. They don't keep microbes out of your body.
It
What they
just gives
do
me
is
better odds
right. They
and
train your immune
tools to
system how
fight
to
it.
deal with it better. But nothing is a guarantee. There still are some people that die who have been vaccinated. That's the case.
All
So
my every single one of my coworkers has had COVID except for me so far.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
they're
Well,
all
I mean,
vaccinated.
and you working in education, you're at
Yeah.
an even greater risk too because those kids are disgusting.
Can we also go off on a side tangent about this?
Sure. It's
So
not like
there's
Jeremy's
a
saying
whole,
anything interesting.
A whole plethora of parents that are like, I don't want to mask my kid anymore. This is punishment. This is brutal. Da 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 da. It was like there's 11% of kids who are actually vaccinated, and you want to send your playground to school without a mask? Come on. Sorry, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But there's like this
But again,
huge movement right now.
Because
to,
that's
like,
the thing
push
is
that.
again, conservatives have a real tough time understanding how their personal decisions can affect other people.
But they don't. It's my
For them,
decision.
the thinking once it comes to should be able to do whatever I want, the gears stop turning, and that's the end of their thought process. They don't think, and also I'm a greater risk to others. It's the same thing with children too. They're like, oh, children, they're the least likely to have injury or death from the virus. That's not the point, though. The point is that they're then carriers to older people, like their parents or their grandparents, who many kids live with their grandparents, or see their grandparents on a regular basis, or come into contact with other at-risk populations on a regular basis. So it just creates a reservoir that the virus can multiply and go back and forth from. So
Right.
it's ridiculous, short-sighted thinking, and conservatives in general seem to have a real hard time with that. Let's keep going though.
Yes, they're standing by Joe Rogan, but they really don't have
How
any
are they
of the
standing by Joe Rogan.
If they bend the knee, what are they going to do? Get rid of Joe Rogan, the guy they paid $100 million for? The guy that brought probably, I don't know.
So again, pay attention to that $100,000 or $100 million figure, because that becomes relevant when you actually look at what's going on.
5 to 10 million paying users. Again, paying users. I don't know what's premium costs. Let's say it costs $5.
And that's the other thing. I don't listen to Spotify that much, and when I do, it's mostly for podcasts. But I'm pretty sure that podcasts on Spotify are ad free. I don't know. Well, maybe they.
I don't use Spotify, so
I don't know. Maybe I'm
I
wrong
have
about
an
that.
account, but it's
I
like-
thought that Spotify podcasts were ad free. So premium free user, that wouldn't make a difference. I'll look that up while he's talking.
A month. All right. That's $25 million a month in revenue brought by Joe Rogan. And that's on the low side. If it's 10 million paying users, because he has 11 million consistent listeners, right? If it's 10 million, that's 50 million a month. If the premium costs $10 a month, it's 100 million a month.
they're integrated.
Okay? Like, there's no
Hold
way
on.
that Spotify is going to ever get rid of Joe Rogan, and they literally can't, because once they start listening to these weirdos, it's never going to end, right? I heard some rumor that Barry Manilow is getting in on it. I mean, who's next? Tom Jones? You know, like, I'm sure Carlton will be really upset. Not that these people don't have followings. Don't get me wrong. Neil Young has plenty of followers, and so does Barry Manilow.
Yeah, I mean, Barry Manilow is still a relevant artist to a lot of people.
Yeah.
The boomers are still out there. I mean, we're just seeing the last of the greatest generation pass away. So the boomers are still a really huge generation, and for them, artists like Barry Manilow and Neil Young are still probably big. I mean, there's a reason that from every small town that I've ever been to every major city has a classic rock station or two.
Neil Young's kind of a big
And
deal,
they play
though.
that stuff. Yeah, right. They play stuff from Neil Young's big era all the time, like wall to wall. I mean, it's still the same like 100 songs over and over again, but it's definitely going to include at least one or two Neil Young songs in there.
I mean, I walked on the aisle to Neil Young, so I'm a little biased.
Yeah, there you go. So I grew up listening to Neil Young. I'm sure Jeremy did too, if his parents were into music at all. So he's really trying to downplay it. But all of that really is not the issue. The issue is whether what he's doing is effective. That's definitely a relevant issue. But more than that, is Joe Rogan a toxic force? Is he responsible for people's deaths because of the people that he platforms and because of the misinformation that he spreads? I would tend to say yeah.
But they probably
yeah,
don't
too.
have.
Yeah.
I mean, you're spreading lies, and those lies ultimately hurt people at the end of the day. So, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan even was arguing with some guy he had on his podcast. I don't remember the exact thing, but it was about. It was. What was that condition that they were concerned that people who got the vaccine were having higher rates of?
Cardiomyopathy.
That was close to it. Carcinoma, was that it? No.
No, it was a heart condition. It was cardiomyopathy.
Anyway,
Google it.
there was some condition, and Joe Rogan was like, "Oh, people that are getting the vaccine have a higher risk cardiomyositis."
Cardiomyopathy.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm pretty sure I'm feeling pretty confident right now that I'm right.
Myopathy. Let's see.
If I'm right, you gotta take me out for ice cream.
Deal.
Cross your fingers, guys.
Anyway, I don't know. It's myocarditis. That was the one. So they were concerned that with these mRNA vaccines that there was a higher rate of myocarditis. And his guest was like, well, you know what gives an even greater risk of myocarditis? That's getting COVID. And Joe Rogan was just like, no, no. And he wouldn't believe it. He even had Jamie come in and try and bail him out. And Jamie came up with the same information. Lo and behold, he was completely wrong. So,
What,
I
I
mean,
owe you ice cream now because you were right.
yeah, you got to take me out for ice cream.
Okay,
I can get the biggest peanut butter parfait there is.
that's fine. I don't care. We could get better ice cream than Dairy Queen. though.
Myocarditis. Thank you, John.
Oh man, I owe a lot of people ice cream now. Crap.
Take some DMT and to be fine. Yeah, basically that's been Joe Rogan's response to everything. That's funny. Yeah, you know what? I like having Amanda on too. I can only get her to come on once in a while though. So,
It's
but
hard
I think we
when
make
I
a
work.
good team. Yeah, you have a very emotionally draining job, dealing with those kids with behavior problems. But yeah, when you can manage it, definitely be nice to have you on more.
I like these kind of shows more when we get to.
Just make fun of people. Because
Yep.
because we know we're right, and
I mean,
they have no business having the platform that they do because all they do is spread misinformation. That's a good screen cap of Jeremy there. That might be the sort of thing. You know what? At some point, I have to talk with you all about uh, it's not emojis. What the hell you call them? Anyway,
gifts.
yeah, no, it's not gifts. It's the thing you get when you sub to my channel. I want to say emojis,
hug?
but it's different. I don't know why I can't come up with it. But anyway, I have a whole bunch of slots that I'm not using for my subscription, and I don't think I've used any of them for my points ones. So we'll have to have a chat sometime about what sort of things to put in there.
Okay.
So anyway, that was a little aside.
Maybe some. What's his name? Jeremy. Sleepy Jeremy.
Yeah, maybe we could do Sleepy Jeremy.
He looks like that old guy from the Muppets.
He does. What was that guy's name? Um,
He's got the sleepy kind of eyes. He doesn't look like he has any
he,
eyelashes.
he was one of the two old men who'd sit up in the balcony and just roast people.
Googling it right now.
Okay, you get back to me on that.
Have a lot of people that pay for Spotify Premium. It appears as though Spotify listeners are well.
And really, he's just
Statler and
speculative.
Waldorf.
Statler and Waldorf. Yeah, that's the one.
Statler.
He did look like a lot like Statler in that one. He just needs a bushier mustache. But yeah. But again, he's just making random connections. He's saying, well, all these people pay for Spotify Premium. You don't know that they're paying for it so they can listen to Joe Rogan. So, I mean, it's just spitballing here and trying
Those
to
obviously aren't the
distract
people who are
further
canceling.
from
It's
any of the
people
actual
who are
issues.
listening to Neil Young or people that actually give a shit about
about music. Yeah,
misinformation.
yeah. So I mean, actually, I would assume that more people on premium would be doing things like listening to music because songs. There's a break in a song every 4 minutes or so. So you have every few songs you have a spot for an ad break. I don't think they break into the middle of a podcast for sure with their ads. I'm pretty sure that they don't with Spotify.
It said they were embedded within the
That's
pod-
different. That's just like say I were to read an ad for Hello Fresh or something right now. There's nothing that anyone could do about that who's on any of these platforms. They can't stop. They can't extract that from my broadcast.
You should read some ads for your show.
Yeah, when
Local
I get to the
co-op?
point, I transferred all of my my podcasts because I used to do the show on a podcast too, but then I transferred everything to Podbean because it was a lot easier. But now I have to pay for it in order to be able to add more episodes to it. So when I get to the point where I have extra money, where I can put out stuff on Podbean again, they have a lot of opportunities for ad reads there. So maybe we'll see if I can get enough audience. But right now I don't even have enough audience anyway. No one wants to,
Hey.
to have me hawk their stuff yet.
I mean, I could come on more.
Okay.
That'll help your numbers for sure.
That definitely will help my numbers. I actually do always get better numbers when you're on, believe it or not. But anyway.
Truly divided, with some maintaining that they intend to keep their subscription and others encouraging people to stop using the platform until the quote problem is resolved. Now, maybe this means that Spotify ends up doing something, But you see this clown, right? He originally Legate, 200,000 followers. He seems like a lunatic. I
Did
don't
you
know.
say legate instead of legit?
Spotify stock after they hired Joe Rogan
No,
for
the guy's
100
name is
million.
Legate.
Down
Oh, sorry. I
50%.
thought he was trying to be all like,
Yeah,
legit, legit.
but it's also I don't know. It seems like it'll come back. It has nothing to do with Joe Rogan.
Okay, so this is the point where we're going to actually look at some better analysis. Who needs some platform shoes? Who's not tall enough here? Anyway, what am I checking out? Oh, the weirdos who just like to watch. Anyway, let's bring up a better article than all the ones that he's looked at so far. One that actually tries to link whether or not there's some causation between the dip in recent Spotify stock prices and Neil Young leaving. Okay, so here we go. Spotify has lost more than $2 billion in market value after Neil Young pulls out his music over Joe Rogan's podcast. So that's since the point that he left, it has gone down $2 billion. There's a lot of sources I found that went as high as $4 billion, but I think those people were looking at a longer term average than just since this last week. Mm-hmm. So this one seems pretty credible, I would say.
It's from Variety.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty neutral, I would say. Variety. Yeah. Anyway, Spotify's market capitalization fell about $2.1 billion over a 3-day span this week. That's over a 3-day span.
That's a lot of money to lose in 3 days.
Yeah. Now, which number is bigger? Maybe you can help me with this math problem. $100 million that they gave to Joe Rogan that they would kind of be out if they breach contract. And then potentially there's some sort of provision in the contract where they'd have to pay even more. Let's say it's even $200 million. Is that a bigger number? Or is $2 billion a bigger number?
I don't know, Zach.
It's a tough one. I know.
Really hard.
And maybe math is not.
I should probably get my abacus.
Comparing numbers is not Jeremy's strong suit. But I'm going to go with the $2 billion. You know, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say $2.1 billion, a little bit bigger than $100 million.
I mean, when you have accidents as often.
And now that other artists are coming out and in support of this campaign, they could be. I mean, what the market hates more than anything.
Mitchell, that's going to take a whole other.
Absolutely. And if Foo Fighters did, that would take a really huge chunk. There's people all over the world that are huge Foo Fighter fans. But
they're working on a really cool project right now, but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah. That sounds cool. We can save that for later. But anyway, so the more people that join this campaign, the stronger it becomes, and the more they stand to lose. Because if there's anything the market hates, it's uncertainty. And if huge artists are starting to flee a platform, that could spell disaster for that platform, whatever it is. So that has nothing to do with politics, really.
And I'm sure a lot of artists right now are depending on Spotify because
unfortunately, they pay everyone crap. I mean, let's be real. They pay fractions of a cent per play.
Right.
To the actual artist.
So what I was getting at here is because COVID is still a thing.
Oh, it's still a thing.
And a lot of artists are opting not to tour or having to cancel a lot when their folks get sick.
Thank you, John.
They're probably more dependent on things like Spotify. So, like, you know.
Yeah, true. So, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that are, there's been that campaign recently to just not take crappy jobs at minimum wage, to move in with family or friends or whatever, instead of having to take that. So I'm sure those people as well need more entertainment in their life. Mm-hmm. So yeah. But anyway, the point is, what the markets hate more than anything is uncertainty and volatility. So the more that jump on this bandwagon, the more money they're going to end up losing. And at some point, it's just going to be a financial decision. Now, Jeremy's going to throw all this wokeness and politics into it, but this is capitalism here, like cut and dry capitalism. Profit-driven decisions. People are moving away from Spotify stock because it's looking more volatile. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with wokeness or political correctness or cancel culture, any of this other BS that he's tossing in the way of what's really going on here. And the same thing is true about what the decision that Spotify will eventually make. I'm predicting that they'll just boot him. They'll do whatever they can to, set up a committee to study the issue and, get our maybe they'll put up a link to truthful COVID information along with every Joe Rogan.
Focus group.
Yeah, they're going to focus group it for a while. They're going to, reinvest in trust and outreach and whatever it is. They'll do all sorts of PR moves to try and weasel out of it. But I think eventually, and this has only been a week so far, a 2.2 million drop over 3 days, that's really bad. That does not look good for them.
And it's
They're
only
not,
going to get worse.
yeah.
No Young, they're done.
I mean, eventually that's probably going to be the case.
Neil Young and Joni Mitchell are going to make their own
But
streaming
anyway,
service.
let's continue on with this one. They are actually that's part of this, but that again, that's kind of a side issue as well. But shares of Spotify fell 6% from January 26 to 28. The 26th was the day that Neil Young was ordered his people to take his songs off of Spotify. Over the same time period, and this is something that I believe Jeremy lies about later on, the tech-heavy NASDAQ Composite Index rose 1.7%, and the Dow Jones was up 1.1%. For the sake of comparison, Netflix stock recovered a bit, up to 4.9% over the last 3 days, after getting hammered following its January 20 earnings report.
And now they're raising the
So
costs.
all these other companies and all these other tech stock averages went up. Spotify plummeted.
More than anybody else went
More
up.
than anyone else. So that could just be a coincidence. It could just be a coincidence, especially on span. Who knows? But it's building a much more credible case than Jeremy is here, just saying, what about this thing? And if the premium guys did this, and if this is the way they behave, all these ifs that you have to string together to make a coherent argument in his case, this looks a little bit more promising. So Spotify stock closed Thursday at a 19-month low of $171.32 a share. That came after Young said Monday that he was demanding the company drop his music, saying that Spotify can have Rogan or Young, not both. Spotify removed Young's songs on January 26 in a post Wednesday. Young wrote that Spotify has recently become a very damaging force via its public misinformation and lies about COVID, and referred to an open letter from doctors and healthcare professionals issued earlier this month, calling on Spotify to crack down on coronavirus-related falsehoods on the Joe Rogan Experience. And so it talks again that its stock was already on the slide, having plummeted 25% year to date as of January 25th, the day before Young's catalog was pulled. Investors have been rattled by signals that Spotify's growth may be slowing, particularly after Netflix warnings of a significant cool down in fourth quarter subscriber ads. So this is where Jeremy has his half point. That yeah, all these streaming services, because more people are going back to work, and we're not at the height of the pandemic anymore, even though the numbers are still going up. We're just pretending it's not the height anymore. But anyway, because of that, because we're pretending to all be normal now, a lot of these streaming services have gone down from their peak. So that's his half point. But it seems like a pretty close correlation between Neil Young and announcing this and the stock dropping by $2 billion in 3 days. Okay, and so this talks about how then Joni Mitchell announced that she too would be removing her music from Spotify. Irresponsible people are spreading lies and are costing people their lives. I stand in solidarity with Neil Young and the global scientific and medical communities on this issue, the singer-songwriter said. So, for Spotify investors, the concern is that the artist exodus could snowball in coming days and drive material numbers of customer cancellations. Hashtags cancel Spotify, delete Spotify, buy Spotify were trending on social media in the wake of Young's ultimatum and Spotify's decision to remove his music. There you go. So much more, much more analysis than Jeremy's willing to give.
I want to know who else is leaving too.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to
Matters.
find out. Yeah, sure. If you want to look that up right now, go ahead. All right, so let's get back to Jeremy and his web of lies.
Niles Lofgren.
Don't know that person.
He's part of a different group.
Oh, a different group, not the one group. Anyway, let's continue with the video. You yeah. Find a list and then we'll pause and we'll read it off.
It's important.
Joe Rogan is brought them hundreds of millions in revenue.
Has he?
Tons.
Tons
The
of
entire
millions.
Nasdaq is
Still,
getting crushed right
again,
now,
what's
especially
bigger, hundreds of
companies that
millions
really
or
benefited
2
during
billion?
the lockdowns? You see, I retweeted them 3% isn't a plummet, and then they deleted the tweet.
James Blunt.
Oh God, James Blunt. Where am I going to go to find my? You're beautiful. I mean that's cool that he's doing it in solidarity. I just really can't stand his music. But yeah, 3% can be a plummet. It really depends on how much your stock is worth. But $2 billion, that sounds like a plummet.
He's Bruce Springsteen's guitarist, Niles Lamp.
Oh, okay. So he has his own career and he's doing that too. Oh, interesting.
That's like the 5 guys who use Spotify just for Neil Young. You can see stock going down. It's down $16 over the past 5 days, but it's up today. The whole tech sector has been getting beat down since December. You can see Spotify down here trending down.
Isn't that normal?
You can see the
There's a
Nasdaq.
downward swing like January through February because people
Well, and
aren't
that too.
buying shit.
Yeah, the big buying season is over. People are tightening their belts after having to go into debt to buy Christmas presents and whatnot. So yeah, they're going to cancel streaming services for that time. I'm sure it's pretty normal for this is kind of the doldrums for most businesses. We went to a plant store just today and like it was half shut down.
What?
The plant store we went to today. It's
Yeah.
basically the off season for a lot of places. Retail, streaming, all these sorts of things. In fact, some of them even shutter this time of year if they're like more of a seasonal
Sunny
business.
side
Your sunny side doesn't open until the spring again.
doesn't open till March.
So
But they keep posting stuff, which is deceitful. I can't get my hopes up.
so what he says is true. There is a natural downturn, and that could be part of what did it. But it 3%, whatever percentage, $2 billion in value in just 3 days. That seems like a tumble. However, whichever way you slice it.
Deposit, though, trending down the exact same rate. Here's Spotify, right? Here's the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is down 2,500 points in just the past 3 months. Nearly 16% overall.
Yeah, so he'll look at
Oh,
the
look, Spotify's
6
down
month
on a day
trend
where the
and the
entire
1 day
stock
trend,
market is down.
but somehow missed the 5-day trend, which was the
Now
time
you have
that
people upgrading
Neil
to
Young
premium.
made his
I
announcement.
don't know what it costs.
Weird.
Does it say? It's got to be at least $5 a month. Got to be. And then he ends up, of course, deleting the tweet when the stock started rising.
It's one.
It's not much.
So even
But
if
it
that
is
was
in the
true,
green for the day.
it's one
The
dude.
stock is going to end
So
up
what?
for the day. And it's been up as much as, to 173.72. It's been up almost $1 more. So it's it's going up.
That's no. I mean, it's overall.
You
It's
see,
still
2
down.
days ago, Spotify has lost 25% of its value in 2022 and 45% over the past year. What's going on? And again, over the past year. So this is a trend that was happening before Joe Rogan. It's impossible to pinpoint.
And here's the thing about this argument that he's trying to float out there, is it only works so long, right? It's kind of like the QAnon conspiracy. You can say, oh, this prediction really didn't matter, or it's coming, or you can, it's just around the corner, or it's like a doomsday prediction. Oh, we got the dates wrong. We really meant 9/6 instead of 6/9. Nice, but Anyway,
Wow.
it's obligatory. I'm on Twitch. It's what I got to do. Um, so it's that same sort of thing. You can only move the goalpost long enough, and eventually, if this trend continues, if more people keep leaving Spotify, what's he going to say about that? There's only so many times you can downplay the relevance of a particular artist, or the amount of people that they attract and keep as Spotify premium listeners, or whatever it is. So even if he's even if he was right now, which he's not exactly right now, we've looked at reasons why he's not, but still, time will tell. Ultimately, this is only a 1 week old campaign, and already it seems to have done considerable damage to Spotify's already creaky reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go.
The precise
I mean, the real question is Jeremy going to leave this video up if he's ultimately proven wrong? I'm gonna guess no.
No, you think?
We got to stop doing these so close to bedtime.
I tell you this all the
I
time.
know, but we were doing other stuff today, you know?
precise factors that are dragging Spotify down, but the movement arrives amid broader market corrections and a swift away from unprofitable and or tech stocks. And with the company set to detail its Q4 2021 revenue specifics 8 days from now on Wednesday, February 2nd, it'll be interesting to see how the podcast performed in terms of interactions as a percentage of Spotify MAUs. That's monthly active users. The S&P is down 10% on the year. The lockdown darlings like Netflix and Peloton, which cracked all-time highs in 2020 and 2021, have posted double-digit stock losses to the point in 2022. To be sure, Netflix is down approximately 40%
just
since
trying to
January
distract
3rd,
at this point.
compared to a 25% decline for
keep
Peloton
jerking
during
their
the same
rates up.
stretch. The latter stock had surged past the $165 mark. Spotify shut down its pioneering podcast studio and laid off some divisions of 10 to 15 employees, though the move appears inconsequential in context of Spotify's multi-billion-dollar bet on podcasts. It doesn't seem to spell confidence in the format. Meanwhile, some are speculating that Spotify could follow Netflix in raising its prices, a significant possibility because the music streaming service, similar to song libraries, and mainly costs the same in the States. Plus, Spotify's long-awaited hi-fi support still doesn't have a release date. Company officials announced 2 weeks ago, despite the fact that Apple Music and Amazon Music unveiled their feature at no additional cost last summer. Nowhere in this article does it say Joe Rogan. Sit down, commies.
You found
Spotify
one
is,
article that didn't say Joe Rogan.
It would be doing far worse without Joe.
And sit
Hope
down,
you enjoyed this
commies.
video. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Again, look at his worldview. Anyone that doesn't support free speech that harms or speech that harms other people directly or indirectly must be a communist, must be an evil leftist. It couldn't just be people worried about decency or worried about their own health that are at risk. No, it must just be a Red Scare sort of thing. That's Jeremy's now. So this is the end of the video. So
That's because
there's
every
nothing
response
else.
of theirs is out of fear, not concern.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because I think there may be some people out there that legitimately cannot get a COVID vaccine
For sure.
for whatever reason.
I think there are immunocompromised people that it's difficult or dangerous for them to get any vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that are too young. There's millions of people that are under 5 years old who still are not eligible for the vaccine.
No way.
So, and as you can attest, kindergartners are some of the worst cesspools of filth. So
They are. They're so cute, but they're so gross.
because they just don't know
nasty.
yet, you know.
Well,
It's hard to remember to wash your hands.
It's
when
like, oh, you sneeze
so
in your
many new
hand?
things
I'll
to
wipe
learn.
it on my shirt. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Or, hey, I just touched my butt. Can I hold your hand? Like, no,
Yeah.
sure can't. That's my favorite. When they sneeze in their hand, they're like, hey, can I hold your hand? Oh, no.
So anyway, there's the powers of analysis of Jeremy of the quartering.
Jeremy.
Yeah. I like that you do your own room shot.
That's right.
Right, and that's usually the depth of analysis that he looks. He's not good at reading full articles. He'll definitely pick and choose. He just kind of I think he just skims until he finds one thing that can support his weak point of view. Um, and so he skips over that stuff. He skips over anything that he doesn't like. He misinterprets
I don't
things, or
like
he
this
only looks at the part
information.
of
I'm
data
not
that
using
supports his claim, if he's looking at any data at all, and then he just speculates wildly about stuff, and then tries to obfuscate the whole thing by making it about wokeness, or making it about cancel culture, making it about anything other than, is Joe Rogan a menace to public health by the
Yes.
people that he platforms? And yeah, and that's the
And
thing.
the
If he ever had to
people he
actually
has on
confront that,
also.
he would have to take a hard look at what Joe Rogan is actually doing.
I can't wait till you put this happening thing together. I cannot wait. And I'm gonna call into this room when you start that show, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna go get pizza with Johnny. Bye.
Maybe I should just keep a jar of lemonade on my desk, and just once in a while just take a little sip from it. What do you think?
This is my antibody treatment. I want to heal myself with my own
Oh,
body.
that's perfect.
Screw you, science.
Yeah. But yeah, I have to figure out how to get the camera like 6 inches from my face,
I mean, I can hold it there for
and like
you.
yeah, again, I got to get my matchy game on.
It's fine. Can help you.
I can wear my soda hat and my soda hoodie that's the same color.
Yeah, you could be
I can do
yellow.
that, and then I gotta really fluff out my beard a lot. Get, so I look like one of those things at Chuck E. Cheese. You remember those things you throw the ball at and they had like fuzz all around their head? It was like a clown face and had
Oh.
fuzz all around it. I'll show you.
Chuck E. Cheese is scary. I'm not fond of animatronics.
Let's see if we can find it.
Ah!
No, those aren't the ones though.
No, thanks.
Maybe it was circus pizza.
I'm gonna. Oh. Chuck Cheese.
Yeah, these things. You remember these?
No.
Isn't that kind of like a dead ringer for the quartering? Let me bring that up.
Ah, yucky.
I don't like to body shame, but it is funny.
But he's going to
How
body
wild,
shame
man.
because
No, but it's
in
just it you know, it's not body shaming because he certainly could comb his beard more and or trim it more or whatever.
Yeah, why did I get in trouble for talking about Lord of Patriarchies?
Because you were calling him, you were saying he was bald and stuff, and that's not something you really have control over. One day I might bald too, you know.
Shave your head.
Anyway,
He looks like a wizard. Not a cool one.
Oh, that's the so yeah. That's not the right one. Let me get the actual tab. This is very important. This is very important.
You guys better be
So here we
really
go.
thrilled that you stayed on for
Oh
this.
my god! And now an ad pops up.
Oh my gosh.
So what do you
it's
think?
like Spotify.
What do you think? Dead ringer for Jeremy over there?
Wish I could
So
throw
that's
a
what
ball
I'm
at his
saying.
mouth.
I gotta just like I gotta like, get like a pick and just like get it away from my face as much as possible. So it's just like.
You're also gonna have to get contacts.
Sometimes he wears glasses.
He doesn't wear glasses.
Sometimes he does. I mean, but look, you know, let's take a quick look at his catalog here.
Oh gee, can we?
We certainly can. We certainly can.
Sure you guys are regretting this now. This is great use of your Sunday night.
Let's see what kind
I
of really
signed in to watch this shit.
really important stuff the quartering has been covering lately.
Oh my gosh.
You can usually tell a lot about a person,
Girls
a lot about
only app triggers?
a YouTube creator by the things they tend to talk about and the way they frame things. Peak insanity. University adds trigger warning to Harry Potter for their adult students.
Disney
And see again,
makes
look.
Minnie Mouse a dude because she wore pants.
Compare this. 1.1 million subscribers. Only 57,000 on that one because that's not about women and being mad at them. Steven Crowder, Maybe that got boosted just because he's talking about Steven Crowder, but
Chow
that got
down,
216,000. But that's the best numbers that he's pulling in, is a quarter of his subscribership. Uh, so the one we just looked at, only 96,000. And then a Brie Larson, one of his like, it literally has like 40 videos just about how terrible Brie Larson is.
I think he
He's
might be
obsessed with her. He's absolutely. So he knows, and because that's kind of his cash cow. He knows he can crack that 1,000K or 100K mark by talking about how terrible Brie Larson is just for existing as a person.
He probably thinks she's super hot. Like, gosh, she's like super hot.
But
Like, why
compare
she
that to
so
this.
Stupid.
This one, he's also talking about a Marvel actress, but this time they've been canceled for opposing mandates, and no one cares. No one cares about that stuff. Disney makes Minnie Mouse a dude.
I wear pants.
I would almost want to watch this one because I hope it shows, because he's talking about how Candace Owen responds to how outrageous it is that she is in a pantsuit
Well, she's also
while wearing a
pantsuit.
pantsuit. Because that's this kind of self-awareness that the right has.
I think
Total
it's cute.
meltdown after female. Oh, see, he's talking about female CEO. So his numbers go up over 160K then.
Women can't do things.
Anti-work Reddit mod has disastrous Fox News.
You want me to
thing.
go in the kitchen and make you a sandwich?
Oh God! But don't even joke about that. That's so gross. I do most of the cooking around here, by the way.
This is true. He does.
I cooked us all breakfast this morning.
He's a cooker. I'm a cleaner.
Yeah, it works out. It's balance.
It's also called being an adult and talking about things.
Oh, so this one he talked about Ethan Klein and Jordan Peterson, so that's why that got almost 300,000. But he's not even breaking. There's one video out of like 10 or 20 where he actually breaks a third of his subscribership, bothering to even watch any amount of it.
I'm a better baker though than Zach.
And look at this. These eventually all these videos, they just blend together. He just puts the trigger word in red, because that's all he is. He's just a channel of clickbait.
Surface.
He doesn't really
growth,
have any real
core,
opinions about anything. All he can do is read articles that other people have said, but there's no real analysis in anything. There's no actual original thought. He's just one of those clickbait things, a clickbait farm, basically. It's pretty sad. None of these is he. Oh, there's one. Tim Pool knows why he was swatted. Oh, so that's when he got into a Tim Pool. So that's why he got 400,000. But that's the highest watched video in weeks, in the last month, that I've seen of his. I don't know. I don't know what that means. You know, it's not as though I have that kind of subscribership, but it's clear that people just tune in for the quick thing, and then they tune right out as soon as they get the little piece of red meat. Oh yeah, stick it to Brie Larson. Oh, I got to go do other stuff to get mad at other women.
How dare you?
So yeah, that's kind of all I had tonight. It's 8:30. Do you want to look at anything else, or do you want to? Oh, you know what? Timmer's mentioned
A
a
song.
video, a song.
I can do this song and then I gotta dive out.
Yeah, let's do the song and then we'll call it a night.
It's called Pizza.
Yeah, what was it called?
Now
You
I
still
want
hear Timbers?
pizza.
It's pizza something, and it was
Pizza Time.
Pizza Time
Yeah.
by song. It was the guy who does Song of a Day. Pizza Time. Okay, let's look it up.
Pizza Time. Oh wait, can we play it on this or?
It's the guy who does Song of a Day, so he doesn't copyright any of his
Oh.
songs.
Okay, just making sure we don't want to end up in jail.
At worst, I'll just have to mute it in the playback. Pizza Time. Songify. Here we go. I think we should be okay with this.
Remember, with great
Oh, we're gonna have to talk over the
great
actual
pizza time.
movie.
What have you done? What have you
Yeah,
done?
Pizza Time.
Listen, there's more for me to say.
Pizza time.
Thank you for telling us about this. This
Played
is
open
great.
sleep before he wrote the fifth. Did Edison sleep before he turned on the light? Did Did Marconi sleep before he turned on the radio?
Turn off the CC for this one.
Did
There.
Bernoulli sleep before he finally froze? Pizza time. This boy, pizza
That'd be pizza delivery.
This should be the open for recording. So I guess the cold open, super close up.
I'm on an empty sheet. Punch me
What?
out,
Pizza
please.
clocks.
Pizza Clash. Whoa, crossover episode.
Whatever that means.
There was something I thought I had to do. I don't have to. Day by day, I let things get in the
You
way.
think just because you saw my plate,
Don't ever let anything get in the way of pizza
I
time.
shine my
Yeah.
shoes, press my pants, want to get some chow mein.
No.
I may be rushed into things.
wait a minute. What are you saying?
Pizza time.
You made a brave move in telling me the truth, and I'm proud of you. Peter, I'm proud of you. Everybody loves a hero. People scream their names, and years later they'll tell how they stood in the rain to get a glimpse of the one who taught him to hold on. Henry wonders where Spider-Man's gone.
But I want a life. With great power comes great peace.
How long is it?
I love Goth Spider-Man.
Yeah, I didn't even see that one. Evil spider suit. I heard the recent Spider-Verse. It was an actual Spider-Verse. What was it called? No Way Home, Far From Home, something like that. Returning Home. Something like that. All right. Good stuff. Thank you for that suggestion. All right. If you like this sort of thing, don't forget you can always support me on Patreon. There's the link right there. And then also don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, do all the things that help me get seen by more people. You know, share it with a friend if they're into ripping on Jeremy.
Yeah.
Or if they love Jeremy and you want to make them cry, you know.
Wow, that's
I don't think we laced into him that hard that anyone would actually cry. But maybe if they're so fragile that they can't take their Papa Jeremy being shown as wrong, maybe then. Yeah, I mean, I can always hope, right?
Papa Jeremy's Pizza.
Oh, Papa Jeremy's pizza. Oh.
Good thing it's not Papa Quartering Pizza. Or wait, no,
Papa Squat Pizza,
no, the other guy. Like,
Lord of Patriarchy Pizza.
yeah, that would be gross. Have you watched his cooking videos?
Oh, Lord of Patriarchy. We should cover him sometime because he's just like.
Maybe we should make Sunday
He's-
Sloppy Sunday, and we should
Oh.
just talk about whatever crap.
Sometimes. I do want to actually do like serious stuff sometimes, like permaculture and new urbanism and, you know,
I mean, politics is important. Maybe I should start my own channel. I'll call it Bitchin' with Bear.
that'd be fun. I'd come on your show with you if you wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can make it a
Just
thing.
make fun of people, sure. Or we could have a longer stream on Sundays and we could spend some time doing fun stuff and some time doing serious stuff like the Majority Report does. You know, like at the fun half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're glad you
you're
had
having
fun.
Tim. It's good to see you again. Hope to see you in future streams. Tomorrow night, in fact, I believe we're covering Mike Hoag's permaculture design certificate course again. So we'll just be listening into his live Zoom meeting of his class. Have a great night, John. Good to see you. So hopefully you'll come back for that. And then also Wednesday, we'll be doing more on Alexander Berkman's The ABC of Anarchy, also known as What is Communist Anarchism.
A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, fun fact, that was the inspiration for that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
God, why do you pull me?
It's a 100-year-old book. You think that some pop
Why-
singer's going to pull up a 100-year-old anarchist book and get inspiration from it?
Whatever. That one rap singer, lady rapper, is like in Mensa.
That's true. That's
So,
fair.
like,
I shouldn't.
you shouldn't
I shouldn't
assume
denigrate
that
the
because
rappers
you
just because
rap,
they're
you
no.
don't know nothing.
There's plenty of smart rappers.
That's
I don't
right.
mean to insinuate.
Yeah, really great folks out there.
Let's find somebody to raid
Like
tonight.
Snoop
Let's see
Dogg,
who's
'cause
on.
he's friends with Martha Stewart.
Yeah, that's a cute friendship.
It is. It's like those unlikely friendships
Yeah,
between animals. It's very cute.
for sure.
Everybody, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. It's been a lot of fun.
It was really fun. Hopefully next week I'll sound like a normal human being again. What?
What? Why don't you pick who we raid to?
Oh man, sounds so hard.
I don't know if you know a lot of these people anyway, but here's what we got.
Shark.
EPA regulations, moving train radio, bird crochets. Oh, you
They're
want
making-
shark? I rated him last time. Let's do something different. Freems, bird crochets. I like him a lot. He does my sort of thing. He makes little crocheted
Fine
like
bread crochet.
bread crochets. We'll do bread crochets.
I gotta get some more water.
All right. Thank you
Bye,
for being on.
everybody. Rock. I want to come on and do more of this stuff. Maybe Tuesday could be my night to be rude on the internet.
Yeah, sure. I'm down for it.
Hey, everybody, you suck. What's up?
That's gonna be the extent of our commentary.
Yep.
This guy sucks.
Just 'cause
This guy rules.
Oh my gosh, we like Kelly.
Yeah.
Politics.
Wonder if we could watch that sort of content or if that's copywritten as
I
well.
think it's copywritten. He's a pretty big deal.
Probably true. Good night, Timmers.
Good night.
Good night, Natalie, John. Thank you all for coming. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been real.
Check out Bread Crochets, another really great streamer who does leftist audiobooks and makes really cool, amazing, like out of this world crochet creations. He's really cool. So check him out. That's who we'll raid into tonight. And hopefully see you all tomorrow night.